Sponsored by our friends at Nice Day, a creative marketing agency headquartered here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Queen City Unleashed. I'm Yoooo, your host, and today on the blue couch in the home studio, you have heard his voice, I'm sure everywhere. One of the most trusted voices when it comes to food, Mr. Yo himself. We got Cory Wilkins on the couch today. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to it. So
We've been trying to make this one happen for a minute, and then rightfully, I want to say this. When we first tried to make this happen, I appreciated your honesty because you said, "Hey, bro, I am burnt out," and you said, "I need some time."
Yep.
I respected that so much, and I wanted to say that because I need people to understand, like, it is okay to say, "Hey, let me circle back to you," and taking time for yourself, and the fact that you identified that what you needed, rest, some chill, and then came back out and said, "Hey, let's do it." I really respect you for that, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important, and I found myself early on saying yes to everything, and then it would be the day of. I'm like, I really don't feel like doing this,
Yeah.
and I didn't like that feeling, and I feel like doing that doesn't give the host also my best.
Yeah.
So I would rather just do it,
Yeah.
and space it out and make sure I'm in a good space, make sure, that things are smooth.
Yeah,
So,
no, and I appreciate that because you're right. I don't want you to come in and we put an episode out that's not reflective of who you really are. And
Right.
so if you're burnt out, like, it's cool. Like I said, like, hey, I'll be here whenever you are ready to come hang out. And so I'm glad that we were able to make that happen. And I will say, folks, again, take time for yourself, please. Like, truly, like, take time for yourself. It is important. This world around us is crazy. So however you need to relax, recharge, whatever it is, take a note out of Cory's book and speak up for yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So first thing I want to get into, and I wasn't sure where this is going to come in the lineup, but I got a text from my boys. I'm from Richmond, and I got a text. They said, "Hey, Shay, what y'all got going down on in Charlotte? This man's drinking a glizzy lemonade." And they texted me. They were like, "This feels crazy." I said, "Guys, I'm actually about to interview Cory." I said, "This is
Yes.
April Fool's." I said, "If you watch the whole thing, you got to watch all the way through it." I said, "It's April Fool's." My guy, tell me, when did you know you were going to do that? Apparently, you did it like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this one was crazy. Like, I started, like, I'm going to just tell you my perspective watching it. Because I respect you when it comes to food. I feel like I feel like you're honest about your food reviews and like who to support and stuff.
Yep.
And so when I saw this guy boiling hot dogs and put in the water, I was like, "Oh, they got him." I was like, "They got Cory." I was like, "He sold out." I said, somebody offered him a bag he could not refuse, and he sold out. But then the video kept going, and at the end, I said, "This can't be real." And then I saw the April Fools,
Yes.
and I was like, "Bro, I was like, oh, they got him. Like, he's gone. We lost him." All right, tell me about that, please.
Yeah. So that me and Q's my guy. He's one of like the OGs that when I was starting out content creation, went to him. He was cool with working. So we've been friends ever since. So he has a similar kind of personality too, where we just like to mess around with people. So a couple of years ago, I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, you want to do something crazy for April Fools?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm down." So then he just had his food truck. So I was like, "You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do glizberries. We're gonna stuff strawberries with hot dogs, and instead of doing a cream cheese topping or like a cheesecake topping, because cheesecake stuffed strawberries were popular at the time, we stuffed it with a hot dog, and then the topping was mayo." So we started out with that.
Diabolical.
Yes, we started out with that, and I always like to make sure on April Fools when we're doing these that I drop them at like 7 a.m. when people are first waking up, and they wake up to that before they realize it's April Fools. So we did that one. That one went crazy.
And I appreciate that you waited 2 years.
Yes,
You didn't hit it with it again the next year. You
can't.
waited.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do it back to back because people will realize, like, next year I probably won't. I don't know if I ever be able to top this one. I really don't. But so this year I was like, what are we gonna do? So I hit him up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm down." Now he has his actual brick and mortar, which is really good, by the way. His actual food, fire.
Not the glizzy lemonade.
Not the glizzy lemonade. And I hit him up, and then I was like, "What are we gonna do? Something with boiled hot dogs, something with the hot dog water lemonades. So he was like, bet. And then he started adding stuff to it too. He was like, yo, we can do some different flavors. Like, I can get some Jolly Ranchers and we can make a Jolly Rancher flavor. And then I get up there, he was like, what I'm going to do also, I'm about to make the glizzy straw. So I'm about to put a hole into into the hot dog, and we're gonna use that as a straw. So we kept building upon each other, and that's how you ended up with
You threw two comedians in a room together.
Yeah.
Just...
Jolly Rancher flavored boiled hot dog waters, glizzy-aid, as some people call it. But when I posted that, because I scheduled it, I'm like, I'm gonna sleep in. By the time I got up,
Bro,
there
crazy.
was thousands of comments. Like people were going crazy. A lot of like big accounts were reacting to it. Like it was insane. And then with social media, people don't wait until the end of the video before they comment.
Yeah, so, 13 seconds, 15 seconds, they're like, who's tripping?
Yeah. So people were commenting, people were going crazy. And it was hilarious. People got a good laugh about it. And that's mostly why we do it. Just because it's fun. Things are so serious right now. And that just caught people completely off guard.
I kept going back to that post throughout that day and like the next day just to see what new comments. Yeah. Because I caught it early in the morning.
Yeah.
So I kept going back to see what new comments people had because I was like, this is so genius and so funny. Because also, you didn't even try to sell it by the end when you were taking a sip out of it. Your face, you were like, oh, man. I was like, he didn't even try to sell it. Like, oh, this is great. I was dying. And literally when my boys texted me, I said, man, this video really did numbers. Like, this got all the way to Richmond. Like, it's not even Charlotte. And they were like, yo, that's just crazy. I'm like, I said, I can't wait to talk to him about this because, I mean, some of the people, and then, am I getting this right? Some people didn't realize it was a joke and went to order it?
Yeah. So that's the funny thing. Like, people trust in my my recommendations that much that some people was like, well, if he said it was good, then I'm gonna go try it. So people actually went up there and tried to order it, which is insane to me. But
that's more concerning than anything. Like, look, folks, I like Cory a lot. I like his food recommendations and where he says we should eat. But if he's actually recommending something like that, just because we trust him does not mean we need to try it because that's diabolical. Like, he can travel some roads alone. We don't have to go with him on all of them.
Yeah.
And when I saw Glizzy Lemonade, I was like, if this is real, I'm never going somewhere to ask, can I get the hot dog?
Yeah.
What?
It was crazy. And that video was planned out. It was scripted. And there were a lot of details in there that we knew would cause a lot of rage bait. So even like I'm saying, like add a little bit of sugar while he's meanwhile pouring like a whole container full of sugar in there. And like adding the Jolly Ranchers in and saying he boiled these for 48 hours. Like, who boils a hot dog for 48 hours? And to extract all the flavor out of it. Like,
I was like, it's a beef hot dog.
Right.
Like, 30 minutes is all you need at the most. Yeah. You don't even need that much.
Yeah. And I mean, with that whole thing, I also, too, was like, when's the last time I even had a boiled hot dog? Which I think I might have been a kid.
Truthfully, honestly, once I left the house as like in high school, I don't think I had a boiled hot dog since.
Yeah. I don't remember. And that also led me to believe, why were we boiling hot dogs when we could have just
put them in a pan?
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea why
that is a good, because the time it takes to boil it, like you put it in the pan, it's also gonna be good.
Yeah. There's no logical reason that we were boiling hot dogs. I don't know.
I didn't think about that today. Like, that really was, it's not necessary.
Yeah, not necessary.
You don't even need a grill, just like over the stove.
Yeah, over the stove, just pan sear.
That's a good point. Mom, Dad, why were we boiling anybody whose parents boiled hot dogs, ask them, why were we boiling hot dogs? And I just pan fry them. But no, that video, Cory, that really killed me. And like the people's comments and the ones who got it and then didn't get it, I was like, Cory did good. I was like, you did good with that one.
Thank you. Yeah, that one was fun. And I appreciate all the comments. I still get laughs to this day. And that was 2 to 3 weeks ago. Now, people are still commenting on that video. So every day I wake up and get some laughs. Some people don't watch the whole thing, People said they're calling the police. Like,
Corey, I would have too.
yes,
If this is a real video, you dropped this on April 3rd,
yes,
I'd be doing a wellness check.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can somebody, CMPD, can you please go check on Corey? I'm not sure he's in a good place
Right.
in his life.
Yes, yes.
Like, he's advertising this. Like, somebody's got him. Like, hey,
Yes.
Corey, blink if you need help. Like, that was so funny. I appreciate, and the city needed that. Like
Yeah.
our city sometimes be taking itself too seriously.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. Speaking of our city, are you from Charlotte?
No, I'm not from Charlotte. I'm actually from Elberton, Georgia, which is a very, very small town right near Athens, Georgia. Where
Elberton?
Elberton.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, most people haven't. We call ourselves the granite capital of the world. It's a lot of granite quarries, so a lot
Okay.
of headstones, a lot of countertops are,
Oh,
are
interesting.
produced. Yep. And so much so that our high school football stadium is built out of granite. It's really, really dope. It's like a huge stadium for a high school. And yeah, they carved into huge granite rock, and the bleachers and stuff are granite. So it's like a bowl. It goes down into the ground.
No
So,
way.
yeah, it's called a granite bowl. So yeah,
Oh, that's
look
kind of
it up.
sick.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so you say small town. Is it like 2 street lights? Like y'all got a McDonald's? Like what? How small is small? Because
Yeah,
I say
it's-
small town, and some people say we had 1 light. We didn't have anything. We
Uh-huh.
had a 3-way stop at the railroad track, and that was it. No
Yeah.
restaurant, 1 gas station, 2 auto shops. They took the bank from us.
Really?
They said
Yeah.
there were like not enough business here. They
Uh-huh.
took the bank. So are you smaller than that or about that size?
Maybe slightly bigger or about that size.
Okay.
We have a regular Walmart, not a super. So yeah, I don't know when the last time people have seen one of those, but we have a regular Walmart.
Okay.
We have maybe 3 or 4 lights. We had 3 grocery stores. Now there is 2. We have an Ingles, which turned into a super Ingles because it was Ingles and Bilo and Save a Lot. But Bilo closed down, which I think maybe all the Bilos are closed at this point. So then Ingles turned into Super Ingles.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So everybody in the town knows each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. We have 1 high school. So
Okay.
yeah, you kind of grow up with people's families.
Okay.
So yeah.
So then, what brought you to Charlotte?
So I left after high school and moved to
Okay.
Augusta, Georgia, to go to college. At the time, it was called Augusta State. Now it's called Augusta University, and there was another name change in between there that was Georgia Regents. That was a whole
Your school going through a lot of name changes.
yeah. It was weird. But now it's back to Augusta University.
Okay.
So I was in Augusta for about 10 years. I didn't take 10 years to graduate. Make sure you know that. I stayed after
He
graduation.
said, "Don't get it twisted."
Yeah. But yeah, so I lived in Augusta for about 10 years. And then I'm kind of in the tech space.
Okay.
So really wasn't much there to kind of level up work-wise. So then I transitioned and was either looking for jobs here in Charlotte or Atlanta because I wanted to be in a bigger city
Yeah,
with more
for sure.
opportunities, and ended up getting a job here first.
Okay. And so, what year was that?
That was 2017 when I moved
Okay,
here.
so you got here before COVID.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you got to see everyone's favorite ex-girlfriend, the Epicenter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Even before I officially moved to Charlotte, I was already in the Epicenter. So yeah.
I call her the ex because the way people talk about the Epicenter online, I was like, it's the ex that's never coming back, guys, and we need to
Yeah.
let her go. Like, we loved her, but she left and she
Yeah.
moved on, and we need to move on to. I know will always be an Epicenter size hole in our hearts, but we got to move on.
Yeah, and I think it's part of so many people's Charlotte experience that it is hard to see it in its current state, to be honest. So people kind of want to hang on to that memory
Yeah.
and, that kind of early adulthood, first time being out, first time kind of enjoying yourself. So yeah, the name, I don't know what they're gonna do. It'll always be called the
Um,
epicenter, but
Same way
yeah,
X is still called Twitter. Like
yeah,
at
yeah, right,
at a certain point to the real ones, you're not changing your name.
right.
Like you will always it will always be Twitter.
Uh
You
huh.
tweet on Twitter. Like I love reading an article be like ESPN so and so posted on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Uh huh.
That change happened
Right.
like 5 years ago, and
Yeah.
you're still saying formerly known as. Like it will always
Uh,
be Twitter. It will always be the epicenter. So okay, so you got here in 2017.
yep.
What are some things you like to do for fun in the city, but especially before you even got into content creation, what you're doing now? But like, how do you enjoy the city?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm actually huge into sports. So that was one of the big things that I was happy about as far as living in Charlotte. Because before, even when I was in Augusta, I would have to travel 2 hours to go to a Hawks game
Yeah,
or a sporting event or a concert. So having that locally here, where I could just literally buy tickets day of, go to a
yep,
game, go right back home, absolutely loved it. And then also the airport. So same kind of thing there. No longer have to travel to the airport to travel.
yeah,
Yeah, we have an airport, major airport here that goes all over. So
it makes it easy.
yeah, so made traveling a lot easier. And then just as far as like local things, I definitely enjoyed kind of the experience of the arts, like going to Camp North
Yeah,
End, um, early South End, which now even from 2017 completely different.
we
uh,
got here in 2020, so I think
hmm
we know this version more than old
yeah,
South End.
yeah. And I feel like there was a lot of kind of cultural areas. And even before I officially moved here, there was like South End Food Truck Fridays where,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, Larry Swain
hmm
from Wings of
yeah,
Mambo
yeah,
Sauce. He was telling me about that. It
hmm
used to happen over by, I think he said like Flower Child. There used to
yeah,
be a huge like lot before they put any building
hmm
over there. He was telling me about that. I'm like,
yeah.
I could only imagine how big that would have been.
Yep. I was with Larry yesterday, and we were talking about that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the homie. He's one of the OGs that would be in that lot, and a lot of people would go. And yeah, and there used to be food truck Fridays like all throughout the city. And I don't know. I think COVID
Yeah.
kind of made those dissipate a bit. And they never kind of took back off. But there's still
Sounds
a
like
few
a
around.
project for Mr. Yo.
I don't know.
You I feel like you got to know most of these food trucks by now.
I do. I
Hey,
do.
I'm sure you know some plugs for some space.
That's the hard part
Yeah.
because I don't know if you were around in Charlotte. Yeah, if you moved here in 2020, but we used to do the Eat Black Charlotte Festival, which we might bring it back.
Yes,
So
yes. So
yeah,
that happened. Oh goodness, yeah. So that we actually, when we moved over to the West Side,
mm-hmm,
I remember it happened that year, and there are a lot more of the restaurants here. Like when we lived in South
mm-hmm,
End, there weren't really as many. So when we moved to the West Side, there was some, and so we got out, and I was like, yeah, this is dope. And then I was like, it was like a year later, I'm like, is that still happening? And like it
mm-hmm.
kind of went away, but y'all gonna bring that back?
Maybe we'll see. It's a lot of work
Yeah.
to plan that, and it really does take like half a year to plan that one festival. We did it 4 years actually.
Okay.
We started it in 2020, right around the time with the whole like George Floyd stuff, and people were posting like
Yeah.
black boxes. We put a call out to not just post black boxes, but go like support
Yeah.
a
For
lot of the black owned businesses. And then that kind of started growing because we just started an Instagram page, and it started growing. We had people like tagging them themselves, like supporting, and then we turned that into a Black Restaurant Week and a festival because at the time there wasn't a lot of black owned brick and mortars.
yeah.
So we didn't want to leave out the food trucks. So
Wait, hold on.
that's how that came about.
Y'all did one back here behind. Is that the same group? Y'all did West Side, um, going across this like kind of across from the elementary school. Before they put up all these apartments on the West Side, there was music and there are a handful, like maybe 4 or 5 food trucks there. I think that was the same.
Maybe I'll have to look. So the ones that we did 4 of them. Started out very small. We were at where Hotfly is
Okay.
right now. We had their parking lot. and we had about 6 trucks there.
Okay.
And then after that, we moved. We were on the west side in a random parking lot, across from kind of those new offices off
Yeah,
of
that's the one I'm
Tuckasegee.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did have,
Yeah. We went to that one too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one ended up being crazy, crazy packed.
Yes.
And we learned a lot about doing that then. And the thing is, and it's kind of a theme in Charlotte, people don't like to RSVP. It was a free event. But we're like RSVP so we know how many people are coming to this so we can plan accordingly. People don't RSVP. Next thing you know, we have 3,000 people in this parking lot crammed, and
Let me
it's
tell
hot.
you. Let me tell you. I think we might have RSVP'd. I think we kept telling some of our friends. We had some friends visit us, and it just became like, hey, we should all just go to this.
Yeah.
I think we did. I don't think we told all of them you need to.
Yeah.
So we got out there. It's maybe 8 to 10 of us in our group that's out there. We waited like 2 hours for food.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it then, but now having done free events, yeah, I understand. The
Yeah.
RSVP, like if people don't have $1 behind it, then they're like, oh, we can just show
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And then it's like, why was it not well prepared for? It's like, because we weren't expecting.
Right.
And then like especially for all those small businesses, if they buy too much food or like they cook too much food, how
Yep.
does this affect them that like
Yep.
now they're having to lose money because enough people didn't come?
Yep.
So I remember that and now like I have a different appreciation for it doing events and I'm like, yeah, it's
Different.
tough.
Yeah. So that was crazy. And we're very thankful that like nothing crazy happened. Like with that many people in a crowd just out there and people like circling for parking, like that was crazy. Food trucks absolutely loved it. They all of course sold out.
Yeah.
Like you say, people were waiting unfortunately like 2 hours for food because we
Y'all had if it's the right one, y'all had Tim Shropshire MC. Yep. That's the one.
Yeah, we had Tim. Tim is the homie. I was with him yesterday at the Carolina Barbecue Festival too.
Okay.
So yeah, we're still cool to this day. So we had him as a MC, DJ out there. And yeah, in a random parking lot over there off of Tuckasegee. And then the next year, that's when we partnered with the city.
Okay.
And we moved it to Uptown to Victoria Yards.
Yes.
Area. And we did that, and that was also very, very good. Packed out because we're like we need more space.
Yeah.
And that year we also added more like entertainment, so musicians. We had performances.
Okay.
And stuff like that. That one, and of course we had more space, so we could add more trucks, and we added vendors. So people really enjoyed that, and then that fourth year, which was 2 years ago. That's when we actually blocked off 7th Street and had food trucks lined up down the street.
So I mean, this is grown.
Yeah. It
So can you talk about that? There's and I see you active on Threads too. Charlotte Threads. I was in another city and someone's like, "Is Charlotte Threads popping?" So Charlotte Threads is crazy.
Absolutely.
I was like, it is a lot of opinions, a lot of like, oh my goodness. So there's always one of the chief complaints is like, there's nothing to do in Charlotte. I'm like, y'all are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I believe in is like, if you can't find it, create it. And so you did that. Can you talk to the importance, being here almost 10 years, can you talk to the importance of creating and filling the gap for the thing you're looking for? Because sometimes it's like, it's just easier to sit behind a keyboard and complain. But like, you've actually done something about supporting Black businesses, creating space for people to gather. Like, can you talk about that part of it?
Absolutely. So that's always been very important to me. And the whole Daily Special brand transitioned into what I wanted to see Charlotte media be when I moved here. Because I moved here, it actually started with a website called dailyspecialcharlotte.com. And I created that to help people find the food and drink specials. Because I moved here, obviously, I'm not rich. I'm trying to save money. And then I would be going to a lot of these spots, and they would literally be like, okay, food and drink specials, Thursday is half off of wine. maybe Wednesday, 50 cent wings. We don't have that anymore. But
In
50
this
cent wings,
economy,
yeah, 50 cent wings back in the day. But I would always be there on the wrong day. So I'm like, it has to be some site or something that lists all of these specials so I
yeah,
know when to go where. And it wasn't, so I built it because I'm in software development for my main job. So I built a website called the Daily Special Charlotte. That's where the name comes from.
okay,
And then mostly for myself and my friends, but then of course people started searching food and drink specials on Google. Then it kind of started growing, and then I created an Instagram to go with the site. And
okay,
originally, the Instagram was just going to be, excuse me, was just going to be me saying, "Hey, go here for 50 cent wings" or that type
yeah,
of thing, like just deals. But it transitioned into me posting also like where I was actually eating,
yeah,
because I was going to a lot of like hole in the wall mom and pop spots, and then I started seeing the comments like, "Hey, I've lived here for 15 years and never heard of this spot," and that was a recurring theme, and I'm like, why is that? Like, why do people not know about a lot of these mom and pop like Charlotte staples that have been here for 15 to 20 years? And then in looking into it more, I started seeing that Charlotte media doesn't cover a lot of spots that aren't like Uptown or South Park. Like, if you're
yeah.
not in these like popular areas, you're not getting covered. So I kind of transitioned into posting about where I was eating and the places that I enjoy, which is a lot of like mom and pop, like minority owned spots. So that kind of started taking off, and I taught myself food photography because I wanted to make these spots look how they should actually look
For sure,
versus just going and just posting and it doesn't look good at all. Like they deserve, the respect of making their stuff look
absolutely.
appropriate. And then people started kind of finding the page and sharing it out to their friends and then going to the spots and then it kind of just grew from there. So that was two kind of examples of where if I don't see it, I'm always going to be solution oriented, and I'm not going to complain about it. I see it as an opportunity,
Yep.
and that's something that I do love about Charlotte is in its current state, nothing is oversaturated. So whatever you want to do, you can really do it.
Uh,
So yeah.
Man, I am so glad you said that because it is uh, that is one of the biggest blessings of our city that I feel like a lot of people sleep on.
Hmm.
Like I say this all the time, doing what you do or doing what I'm doing in a city like New York,
Yep.
you got to know somebody.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can't, or somebody has to put you on, like really put you on.
Yep.
It can't just be from you getting it out the mud or like really working hard because people have been in New York for how long? Like they
Right.
know these food spots. Like there are
Hmm.
people that have been doing this forever, and so Charlotte really does have this. There's so much space on the canvas
Hmm.
to kind of come in and make your own mark, and I love that, and I wish more people would take advantage of that and put themselves out there and try. And like in trying, you also meet people who then will help you.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it might not be that iteration of what you try that's successful, but you learn something from that that you can take to the next thing
Yeah.
that is actually successful. And like for me, I looked at this podcast and I'm like, when I first started, I'm like, is there anyone really talking about Charlotte that's not like the TV station
Hmm.
turning their day show
Right.
into the audio for a podcast? But I'm like, is there anyone actually doing like a legit Charlotte based podcast?
Hmm.
And no one was really doing it consistently. And that's
Right.
the thing. Some people, when you say oversaturated, some people will do things and then 3 months, 6 months,
Right.
like how consistently are they doing it? And so I'm like, you know what? If I get in here and I just really commit to it,
Hmm.
it's like there's a lane for me to be decently successful doing this. I just got to stick to it.
Yeah.
And then that is what's happened. It's like, you know what? We're just going to show up every day, put some work in, and then it's been like not even 2 years yet. And it's
Hmm.
just like, you can be proud of that. And so for you, like, one, I also feel like in Charlotte, a lot of our food creators have been women.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Not, I feel like you're one of the first guys that I saw that I'm like, he's doing it consistently,
Hmm.
really about it. Like, there's some other folks now that, and I feel like even some of them are a little more niche in what
Hmm.
they
Yep.
do, but that talks about all food and especially mom and pop shops. I'm like, Corey, like that's. I remember a friend sent me your stuff. They're like, "Do you know this guy?" And this is like years ago, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"No." I'm like, "All right, I like this is helpful. Like
Yeah.
this is what I want to know."
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely interesting, and it's funny because that you mentioned that I was one of the first few men that were kind of entering into this space. And that is true. It was a lot of events with mostly women. So, people are kind of looking at you like, what is this guy doing here?
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that I was able to kind of open that lane up a bit. I remember there might have been one or two other men total like
Yeah.
in the space at the time, and I originally created my pages in 2018. So yeah, it was quite a while ago
So
now.
that's when you started
Yeah,
so is that the website or even like the Instagrams and stuff?
that's the website and the Instagram.
2018.
Yep. So 2018. So before there was even TikTok or video or any of that, and before content creation was a way to make money, I was just doing it for the love of it.
For the love of
Yeah,
the game.
yeah, for the love of the game. Yeah.
Man, and see, this is what I mean. Like sometimes I feel like people try to hop into this stuff for the money or
hmm
for the clicks or to be famous, and I'm like, if you do it with the right passion, all those things they will
Yep.
follow. But if you have the integrity, do things the right way, like you will get to enjoy the fruits of your labor down the road, and like you're on Apple Maps. If y'all didn't
hmm
know, you start looking for food in Apple Maps, his face shows up.
yeah.
That's for the love of the game. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not like, oh, I saw him and I want to duplicate that. It's like I don't. Did you think that that was something that you could have happen?
Absolutely not. I literally started it just originally to help find food and drink specials and organize that, and then to help, drive traffic and keep some of these mom and pop spots open.
Yeah.
Because that's where I like to eat. They were struggling; nobody would be in there. So I just wanted to kind of do my part, have a few people go in, support and help build their community so that they could prosper. And then it started turning into this whole other thing once I started doing video. It was growing steadily when I was just doing photos. So from 2018 until about 2021, it was solely photos.
Okay.
And that's when I taught myself food photography and started doing that. And then 2021, that's kind of when, the whole TikTok craze kind of
Yep.
took off. Um, and I ended up starting to kind of dabble in videos. And then I was like, I hate doing videos. I'm not about to, not about to be on TikTok. And another creator, I always give her credit for this, Shonda Farrell.
Okay.
Yeah, she was on TikTok, and she was the one that was like, "Yeah, you should get on TikTok. You should get on TikTok." And I'm like, I'm posting. They're getting literally 30 views. I'm spending all this time doing videos. I'm done with TikTok. And she was like, "No, just post just one more video, one more video." So I went and was driving down the street up Statesville. Saw, I don't know if you remember the Premier Chef,
Mm-mm.
but he was a guy at the time out there just with a grill. And I swung by there, and he was doing turkey legs, and he would unwrap them. And as soon as he would pick up the bone,
Oh,
the
and they would
meat,
just
yeah,
drop.
the meat
Yeah,
just fell off. The original tendonism.
yeah.
So yeah, so I was like, hold up, let me record you doing that. So I did that, did a video on that, and at first it got me my usual like 30 views. I'm like, whatever. And then maybe about 4 or 5 hours later, my phone just starts going crazy,
Ding,
just
ding,
buzzing,
ding, ding,
buzzing.
ding, ding,
Yes.
ding.
And then it's that video, and I'm like, what is happening? And that at that time, TikTok was still fairly new, so people were actually like following. So I got a mass amount of followers from that video. That video ended up hitting like 2 million views from
Woo!
all over, and that ended up also changing his whole trajectory too. Because the next day, when he opened up, there was a line of 100 people waiting before he opened. So he's like, "Whoa, what is happening?" So
Did you
then,
okay? So in that interaction,
mhm.
did you get his number or like did he even have social media at the time?
He did have social media. So he also grew. I did not have his number, but I went back up there because he messaged me like, "Yo, This is insane.
Because I was about to say,
Yeah.
like, what happens to him the next day? Like, is it like, hey, Cory, did y'all send these people up here? Like, this is more people that we've seen in a
Right.
while, all lined up. Like, how? I'd imagine that's crazy for the business owner that it's just like, so you going viral is great for your
Mm-hmm.
views and followers, but for them, when their business starts to pop, it's like we haven't needed to order this many turkey legs in a
Right.
long time, and like how they have to scramble maybe a little
Yeah,
bit.
that taught me a lot about virality, and it's a good and a bad thing. And so the restaurants also need to be prepped for that. And I had no idea at the time that that was about to happen. Neither did he. So literally, then it's a scramble to try to please all of these people because
Otherwise, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it wasn't that good." And like,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So then restaurants get into the business of having to make a decision on, do I try to figure out ways to get a quicker product out that may not be as good, or do I still limit it? There may be 100 people in line. I only got 30 turkey legs. What are we gonna do? Or do I try to go grab some and fast cook some turkey legs that ain't gonna be as good? So my recommendation is no,
Stay true.
yeah, stay true, because if people spend their money and get something that is not what was
They're
advertised,
gonna let you hear
yeah,
about it.
yeah, absolutely. So, so yeah, so that video ended up going crazy. And then I actually took the time to kind of study, okay, why did this video
Yeah.
go crazy? So I broke it down in my head, and then kind of implemented those things into future videos.
Okay.
And yeah, it just kept growing from there. The TikTok did, and then shortly after that, the or Instagram, also saw TikTok's growth. So they're like, oh, okay, we want video now too. So kind of started posting videos on Instagram as well.
And you
And
at
then,
that point, you probably already had a good formula, and you already had
yep,
some videos already prepared
yep.
to just move on over to Instagram. So when do you get the call from? I'm assuming was it like Yelp that put you on Apple Maps? Like what? How did that happen?
So that happened actually from Eat Okra, which is an app that I believe kind of tracks a lot of black-owned restaurants
Okay.
around. So you go to the app and you can see what's around.
Okay.
So Apple partnered with them, and they hit me up. So between Apple and Eat Okra, so
Okay.
they hit me up to do a list or a guide for Charlotte.
Shout out E
Um,
Okra.
yeah, shout out to Eat Okra.
Okay.
Very cool. And then I worked to put that list together, send it over to them, and then they had like one of their Apple representatives kind of flesh it out, and we went back and forth there, and then yeah, they posted it.
Do you get
And
comped for that at all?
no, no comp. Because at the time, I thought it was actually going to be like something that was just displayed for a certain amount of time and then would go away.
Years later.
Yeah, years
Your
later,
face still up there.
it's
You ain't
still
get,
up.
and you ain't got a dollar from
Yeah,
Apple.
not a dollar. So that that whole thing was interesting because I don't have access to go just edit that list either. It has to go through Apple. So
Oh.
yeah, so for years, the list was outdated. Like a lot of those places had either moved or closed
Oh no
or yeah.
way.
So I had to kind of track down, and thankfully I was able to get in touch with the contact at E Okra, who then was able to get us updated or let me update
The list.
the list.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the only kind of downside to it is I don't have direct access to just go change and
Yeah.
update, however I want to. But yeah, it's been a blessing to those restaurants that are on there. But it was definitely cool.
Yeah. So is that turkey leg moment like? Is that the moment? Like, do you have a moment where you're like, all right, now I'm gonna really take this seriously because I can see what it could become. Like, was that early with the website? Like, what moment where you're like, I actually really got to commit time and effort and resources to this?
Yeah, I would say that was from the beginning. Just based on the types of places that I were going. It was a lot of places that may not even have social media.
Yeah.
That if they did have social media, the photos and the representation of their product were terrible. So from the beginning, that's why I literally spent hours and hours and hours watching food photography videos, lighting, like editing, that way I could make these spots
Look good.
look great and actually shoot them in a professional way
Yeah.
and showcase them in a way that they had never been seen before.
Yeah.
So that ended up just transitioning into video as well, where once that time came, I'm like, I really want to make great videos. So I then, learned videography and a little bit of cinematography so that I could go to these places and actually story tell. Because I think that is important too in making videos. It's not just a matter of just showcasing the food and then it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's the do I trust this person? Why should I go there?
Yep.
And actually the visuals component as well.
And I've picked up on that in some of your stuff. You're like,
Hmm.
hey, I'm at so and so. They opened however many years ago, and even
Hmm.
if it's not like a full history lesson, I
Hmm.
know more than just like, here's the food. It's a new spot.
Right.
Like it's they opened, they moved. This is like what they specialize in.
Hmm.
Like you give enough facts that I'm like, all right, I feel like I have a better idea than just like you took 3 good photos.
Yep.
Who knows how long they've been in business?
Yep.
I think that makes a difference and why I trust your approach to how you review
Yeah.
food. The other side of that, and I see you talking about this online, that some of these places get reviewed by you. You don't review all the most hot places all the
Yeah.
time because sometimes the food isn't good, and sometimes those places are closed
Yep.
6 months later
Yep.
after investing $1 million into
Hmm.
upfitting it and everything. And I'm curious, how did you pick what's your, I don't want to say niche, but how you were going to do this? Like, how did you decide, I'm not going to sell out? Like, I wanted
Hmm.
people to really respect what went into that process. And then also, what do you see, not individuals per se, but what do you see for others in that do similar-ish things for you,
Hmm.
who sometimes, like, that food isn't good, but you're still doing the reviews?
Yeah. Yeah. So how I go about it is I try to think of it from the people perspective. There's I've never met a restaurant owner that woke up and said, "Hey, I want to give customers a bad experience today." That
Right.
doesn't happen. Most of the time, if the experience is bad, there are reasons for it. They may just not be able to cook, and that's that's a whole different thing too. But it also could be you don't know what is going on in people's personal
Yeah.
lives. So I don't consider myself an actual food reviewer. You won't see me refer to myself as that. I would say I'm a food content creator because I like to promote businesses. I want people to go to my page and figure out where to eat,
Yeah.
not to figure out where not to eat.
Yeah.
And just time wise, I still have my full-time job, so I don't like to spend a bunch of time editing a video on a place that I didn't like.
Right.
When there are places that I do like.
Right. Exactly.
So I kind of maintain that strategy. And also that feels good for me versus going on and bashing a place when you don't necessarily know what they have going on. There's a lot of places now that are having staffing issues. And people have lives. Like I've seen places get bashed when in reality the owner is going through cancer treatment or like
You never know.
yeah, you never know what is actually happening in people's lives. So I don't like everything for sure, but I give them that feedback privately, just so they are aware. And sometimes the owners are like, "Yeah, I know we had this going on. We apologize. We'll make it right." And in most cases, the owners or the management do try to make it right.
Yeah. You give them. I appreciate the fact that you give them a chance quietly and not blowing
Hmm.
them up, because like you said, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Food industry is a business I would never want to get into
Right.
for the
Yeah.
million and one headaches
Yeah.
that like it just seems like it seems like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you're right. Like I might tell my friends like, hey, but like even for food restaurants that we interview on the podcast, if you see Queen City Unleashed interviewing someone from a restaurant, we actually really rock with the
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yep.
If you don't see it and you know I've eaten there,
Yep. There's a reason. Yeah.
and the other thing is, every restaurant I'm not going to interview.
Right.
Like it's sometimes like I enjoy the restaurant, but it's
Right,
just like I can't interview. I'm not a restaurant podcast. So I
Right,
can't
right.
interview every single
Yeah.
restaurant. But there are some that like places I've been that it's like No,
Yeah.
like I don't need this podcast is about uplifting the city.
Mm-hmm.
Same way you're trying to promote businesses. I don't need to get on the mic and spend time or like, hey, let my clip be about tearing down this business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get any
Yeah.
satisfaction from that as a human.
Right. Right.
Like that's their business. If someone somewhere enjoys their food and they've got a small market of people that
Mm-hmm.
are going to them consistently, I don't
Yeah.
need to ruin that for anybody
Right.
else. Like, and then now I'm the guy that like, oh, you walk in, are you gonna say something good or bad? Like, I
Yeah.
don't want that.
Right.
And like, I feel like people respect you for that.
Yep.
That if it's good, they'll get a good review or a good piece of content.
Yep.
And if it's not,
Then
you're
yeah.
just not gonna say anything about it.
Yeah.
Publicly.
Right. Publicly. Because honestly, only I would say maybe 15% of the places I go actually make it onto the page.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, not that many. So the places that are on the page, I really do enjoy, and it's always funny because I actually go eat at those places. So people will see me there, like while they're going, they're like, "Oh, what's up? Like, I didn't know you actually like be in here." I'm
You
like,
thought
"Yeah, this I actually enjoy this place. This is where I eat." So I think it's
that's
all,
crazy. Like,
yeah,
but I will say though, Corey, that brings up a really concerning point that I think people are calling out when they see you there
mm-hmm,
because I think they're used to so many other people talking about food places that they go once,
mm-hmm, yeah,
media nights,
yep,
big influencer event, and
mm-hmm.
then they never show up again.
Never again.
And
Yep.
so it's like, do you believe like if you go to Pizza Baby, you
Mm-hmm.
will see us at Pizza. Like
Right.
we were eating at Pizza Baby before this podcast existed.
Right.
Like
Right.
that is a spot we go to. If you see me at Stagione, it
mm-hmm.
is because we eat at Stagione.
Yep.
Like it is not like, oh, like I went once, posted about it, and then never went back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's sadly, I think that's what's getting called out for you when people are like, "Oh,
Yep.
you eat here," because I think they're so used to people not actually patronizing these businesses
Yeah.
outside of content.
Yeah. Yeah. People have transitioned into posting, especially about food content, just for their own benefit. They go to places that are popular because they're trying to ride that wave and get, followers and
Yeah,
engagement from going. I could care less if I get any engagement. I don't really care at all. People will tell me, "Oh, you got these followers or you did this." I'm like, "You know that more than I do because I really don't check." I post my videos and I watch other people's videos that I like, and it's just something that I actually enjoy
yeah,
doing. And thankfully, financially, I haven't had to take money just to survive and post things that I
right.
don't really like, just for the money.
You can do it your way with the
Yes.
integrity of Corey. That
Yeah.
was going to be my other question for you. What was it like the first time you did? Like, I'm sure people have paid you at certain points.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably
Yeah.
places that you still enjoy.
Yeah.
What was it like the minute from starting in 2018,
2018. Yep.
the first time you get paid?
Mm-hmm.
What is that moment like?
So that moment, it was actually pretty crazy to think that at the time, places would pay me to come and try their food. And that was back when I was just doing photos, and places would hit me up. Hey, we'll give you, free food and $100 to come in and try our food and post about it. Which I thought was really cool. Now it's transitioned into a whole different thing where now places hit me up pretty much every day, which I am always flattered about and I do enjoy. But I also have to be careful with that because if they know I'm coming, the owners are there, the managers are there, they're making sure that my food is perfect. And
They're
a
on their
lot of
P's and Q's.
yeah, a lot of times, customers go for a standard experience and don't get the same thing.
So like
So,
the Keith Lee's family, like he'll
right.
send somebody else in randomly to go
Yep.
order, so that way the order doesn't say Keith Lee, and now they're like,
Yep.
oh no, make sure you give them extra this, extra that.
Yep. So that happens a lot, and I get recognized a lot now. So places that do hit me up, I will order online or send somebody in to just go try it and get the actual experience before I agree to shooting them. And
Okay.
then once if they do pass or I do enjoy it, then I'm like, okay, yeah, we can shoot. But
Yeah.
I've already tried it as a standard customer
Right.
for every place that goes on the page before I go do the actual shoot because to get some of those like behind the scenes shots and stuff, obviously they have to know
Right.
that
That you're there.
that I'm there. But I need to make sure that if my mom goes in there, I want her to have the same experience
Right.
that that I'm showcasing. So a lot of the restaurants will ask, "Oh yeah, can we plate it this way or can we double the meat?" I'm like, "No, give it to me in this video exactly how the customers are going to get it." Because people do pay attention to that, and that also impacts me and
Yeah.
my brand. So I'm like, no, I need people to see exactly what they're
Oh, for
getting
sure.
and how it's gonna be, and you don't got to do anything crazy. Like,
Do you?
yeah, yeah, be you. Don't don't feel like you gotta up everything or do anything that you wouldn't ordinarily do just because I'm here.
Right.
So yeah.
So, folks, when I say one of the most trusted voices when it comes to food in Charlotte, this is what I mean. There's a lot of integrity that goes into how he makes his content, how he delivers it, and the way he goes around it. This is not saying that others don't have that same integrity, but I know that when Corey says he's going somewhere and he's eating something outside of April Fool's Day, he means it. Like, I know it's going to be good. I know he's done his homework on it, and I
Yep.
think that is important. And so, in your pursuit of finding food and eats and whatever, not just in food spaces, but content creators like this, that it's not just showing up for the flashy moments, but showing up to the mom and pop shops, the random spots that you've maybe never even heard of.
Yeah.
There's a situation that happened recently at a large establishment in the city, and the content creators that were invited were not very diverse.
Oh
And
yeah.
I saw you
Yeah.
starting to engage. Engaged in that, and I was out of town, so I kind of just tracking some of the commentary here. But for you, I mean, I do want to hear from you honestly about it. You're a black man in a space when it comes
Hmm.
to food creation that is not a lot of black men
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
As you have grown, as your platform has continued to grow, your influence, your voice, what is it like in some of these different spaces where you might be the only guy, sometimes the only black
Hmm.
person, the only black guy, and the lack of diversity from some of these businesses that often are the ones that have a lot of money for these
Yeah.
promos and stuff? Can you speak to that? Because I feel like you're one of the people who can actually give a very informed opinion about it. That's not just
Yeah.
lashing out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I'll go back to when I first started this. It was very, very hard to start getting invited to a lot of these media events and just getting some of the same access. Just because, and I think Charlotte too. It's a small city becoming a big city.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of people that know a lot of people that they kind of grew up with or
Yeah.
have been around for a while. So a lot of them are in those positions where they are the ones that are picking the people that get invited to these events. So a lot of times they just invite their friends, and oftentimes people's friends look like them.
Yeah.
So I think that made it more and more difficult to kind of break in, and I had to basically kind of honestly force my way in. So it started out with me being left out a lot. But then the actual restaurant owners, as I was going to the places, started requesting like, "Hey, make sure when you do our event next time, he is here." So just based on the quality and just talking with them, because when I go to restaurants, I'm actually there to support.
Yeah.
Like I go spend my own money more often than not, and we'll chat with the owners
Yeah.
and get to know them just for them and why they're doing this and not asking them for anything.
Yeah.
So I just started building these relationships, and they were like, "Yeah, we want him there." So from there, it kind of started uh, transitioning because a lot of the restaurant owners know each other. So they would talk about my pages and my brands, and then it kind of just opened up those doors a lot more in the restaurant space. But it still happens where you get those events like you were talking about where there's this zero diversity there, and I don't know, it's unfortunate But I think, bringing awareness to that
Yeah.
is important. Just so, not only do the people that are doing these invites, uh, make sure that they're thinking about this, but also the attendees when you're going to
Yeah.
these events, looking around like, is there anybody here that I don't know? Is there anybody here that isn't in my immediate circle
Yeah.
already? And just bringing a lot more awareness to it, I think, is important. So,
There,
yeah.
I told I was having this conversation with my wife recently. One of the things that kind of bothers me, like in this conversation we're having, is that if there's something happening when ICE was here, when it was Black Lives Matter, you see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these influencers um, posting about these things, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is good, bringing awareness out at protests and things like that.
Yep.
And I think that's solid. But then I think when it comes to like this space that is sometimes a lot of people's becoming people's livelihood
Mm-hmm.
more often now than it's ever before, when I see their influencer meetups, when I see uh, their birthday parties or like the
Mm-hmm.
people they hang out with, and then I look at all these people and these other influencers or people with platforms, and I see a lack of diversity, I get really confused
Yeah.
because it's like, how can it be pro all these different groups,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like, where are they in your life? And
Right.
I'm not saying you have to have your friends have to be the most
Mm-hmm.
diverse group, but it's like when you're doing collab posts, when you're doing collabs with other content creators, are you, if we're talking about lack of opportunities for minorities, are you
Mm-hmm.
helping to create opportunities for minorities to get into the space that you're doing, or do you
Right.
keep it as just you and your friends?
Right.
And so that's something that I struggle with when I see them go from like, oh, this influencer event, no diversity. Oh, but we're pro this and
Right.
stop ICE. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
do you have uh, Latinx content
Right.
creators that you're
Right.
doing stuff with
Mm-hmm.
in the same time? And then on the flip side of that, back to creation, seeing an issue, you created
Mm-hmm. Right.
a space. And can you talk about that? A space for creators and I mean a lot of
Mm-hmm.
minority creators to gather and have their own space. So you seeing a problem and another Corey identifying problem, creating
Mm-hmm.
solution. Can you talk about that group that you pulled together?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I agree in that, a lot of times it's easy to say things online, which was one of the reasons that we started Eat Black Charlotte, because we're like, it's easy to post a black square, but it's harder to actually go travel outside of your neighborhood bubble and go visit some of
Right.
these spaces. So similar here, we just saw a lot of different people getting left out, people that were eager to meet other creators, people that were eager to just network, and they just weren't getting those opportunities. 'Cause to be honest with you, a lot of these media events, they're cool, but the best part is just meeting the
Yeah.
other and networking with other creators. So we did a content creator mixer, that was very, very intentional. Shout out to the guys over at Lloyd Studios, some of the best videographers, cinematographers, photographers in Charlotte. Very, very cool guys. And Ariel Perry, another photographer that I've known for years
Okay,
here
yeah,
in
I know
Charlotte.
Ariel.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
shot, we got invited, our sponsor was working with a client, and I got a text. They're like,
Hmm.
hey, we need someone to fill in for this photo shoot.
Yeah,
And I got there, and then Ariel was
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And so that was the first time, like, meeting each other for the
Hmm.
first time, but they got us doing funny TikToks and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, she and I never met each other, but we
Yeah,
had a good time, like,
yeah,
eating
yeah.
food and hanging out. So, yeah,
Yeah,
shout out to
Ariel.
Ariel.
Yeah, shout out to her. Yeah, that's definitely like a OG in the Charlotte photography community too. And then Vicky, another content creator, super super dope. So we all came together. Lloyd, they have a space. Ariel had actually did a similar event at her studio, which is in Durham, I
Yeah,
believe.
yep.
And then she was like, "Yeah, we should do this in Charlotte." So she pulled myself and Vicky in to kind of curate the actual influencer event part.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we posted about it, and just like that, within 30 minutes or so, it was filled. Because we also wanted to be intentional and not just pack the space out where
Right.
you can't even move. We wanted people to be able to actually network, actually talk, meet some different people that you had seen online and you
Yeah.
probably interacted with online. And we also wanted vendors there to, get some shine as well and get introduced
Yeah.
to a lot of different creators. So we had several different vendors, and they loved it as well because they got to interact with creators that
Yeah.
they may not see. And then yeah, we had food there, and yeah, it
Y'all
was
got to
just a
run it back. I heard.
yeah. People, that was another one that people were like, yeah, can y'all do this like, once a month
Once a month is
yeah.
crazy. Once a month is crazy.
Yeah. But everything we do, if I'm involved with it, I want it to be very intentional and I want it to bring value to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's always a compliment when people are
Yeah.
like, yeah, you should, do it again next week. Or I missed out. Like, can you do it again? But also it's like, there's a lot of planning. And just,
And you don't want to get stuck as the planner for all
yeah,
the things.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, because there's always going to be something that's happening, and just time wise is hard, and we don't want to ever water it down
Right.
just for the sake
Absolutely.
of doing it. We want every time,
Quality.
yeah, quality. Just like with FOMO, people know it's going to be a great time, like. And that's something that I will say, the events and like things to do in Charlotte have been popping. So yeah,
Get out.
shout out to all the event curators now, because yeah,
It's
it's been
work.
amazing.
It's work, and when you should, and if you want them to do another one, make sure you bring your friends to the first one because that's how we
Hmm.
know it's actually going to be. The response is there, the work is there. It's like worth it for us to do.
Yep.
We're gonna start rapping, but there's, I don't even think this is a hot take. I think because I try to stay away from hot takes here.
Hmm.
To me, this is a truth take.
Hmm.
Can you please speak to the Charlotte doesn't have good food? You are a
Okay.
trusted voice when it comes to food.
Yes.
I don't believe it, but some people don't take me seriously. So, as a man who has eaten at more restaurants than your average person in Charlotte has,
Yes. That always is a crazy take to me, because first of all, you haven't eaten at every single restaurant in Charlotte, so how do you say Charlotte doesn't have good food?
Preach.
That doesn't make sense.
Preach.
But we definitely do have some really great spots, some really intentional spots. Now, I can get why people may think that, because if you do go to a lot of spots that are deemed like the popular spots, then it may be hit or miss sometimes. But if you know where to go, I rarely ever have a bad meal here. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, and people will compare it to like New York City or Chicago. Like, there's not many cities in the world that compare to those. So
The density of great restaurant per
yes,
square foot in those places is unreal.
yes,
Like Charlotte
yes.
will never, no matter how good Charlotte food's, it will never get to New York or
Right,
Chicago.
right.
Like it's not possible.
Yeah.
But we got good food.
We got great food here. Yeah, we have some really, really good food. And the food trucks here, like, a lot of people sleep on the food trucks, but they're different here. Like, and I think that's due to Charlotte real estate.
Oh, yeah. It makes
being
it
high.
hard.
Yeah, commercial real estate is expensive here. So a lot of our best chefs, they have food trucks. So if you can catch some of these food trucks, I saw a taco spot that people were raving about. They're just on the side of the road with a trompo with the meat spinning, and they shave it off, and people are saying it's amazing. So
Look.
yeah, you just gotta know where to go in Charlotte. I wouldn't say it's a city where you go and just pop into anywhere like when you're in Chicago or New York, but there's plenty of good spots here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
And I think if you, one, switch up and diversify the influencers that you follow and
Yeah.
the content creators you
Yeah.
follow, I think you're going to get a different mix. If you realize that all the content creators in the food space that you follow are all posting about the same restaurants, I'm not saying they're not good, but you might want to switch it up because a lot of them aren't posting the stuff that Corey's posted.
Yeah.
And Corey's places, there have been some places that I've got from his list and I'm like, yeah, this is fire. So like how you change your algorithm. But I love when people say, I built this algorithm brick by
Yeah.
brick. Like, did you build it with the intentionality to find like the real gems in the city, or did you want to find the popular picturesque places in the city? Because those are oftentimes not the best.
Yeah.
And it is great when you can find the pretty place with all the decor and everything and the food is fire. but sometimes in our city they're not the
Yeah.
same. And so, what are you actually? Are you here for the aesthetic or the food?
Right. Yeah. I think that plays a big part because the aesthetic places that end up blowing up because they look good. A lot of times they spend a lot of money on that aesthetic,
And not the
so
food.
and not enough on the food. So yeah, so you'll see I post a lot of like hole in the wall spots that you may not be able to get any good photos or videos in there, but the food gonna be fire.
Right.
So I think it truly does just matter, like you say, who you follow, who are you getting your information from, and I will say also people have different palettes, so follow people that have a similar palette to you.
Mhm.
So and I kind of curate. I know who when certain people post certain things, I'm gonna like that because I
Right.
have a similar palette.
Yeah.
But other people, they might have a completely different palette where I post places and they're like, this was terrible, or this isn't what I'm used to, or
Yeah.
this isn't what I grew up on. So I would say, yeah, curate the people that you follow to be the type of people or type of people that post the type of places that you like to go to. And it may take a time or two where you follow somebody and it's like, no, I don't really rock with this. No, I don't really rock with this. That's fine. Just find somebody who you do have a similar taste to. So
It's really that simple.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give you two questions. Let you answer them how you would like
Hmm.
to close this out. What have you learned about yourself on this journey when it comes to content creation and food and all the things you have built? And what are you hoping your impact is on the city of Charlotte with what you have created and built?
Yeah, so oh, that's good. I've definitely learned, and the big thing for me is I pride myself in being a community connector.
Mm.
Whether that is connecting people to restaurants, restaurants to people, people to events that they may enjoy, or just person to person. Like if I
Check out
can,
his list.
yeah,
Things to do in Charlotte. The
yeah,
monthly list.
yeah, yeah.
We've got our. That's what I really felt like. Podcast is doing something. Corey put us on the list, and I
Yeah,
was like, yes,
absolutely.
we made it.
Yeah, yeah. And the list is actually curated to things that I would go to. So you won't see a lot of like just club promoter because that's just nothing wrong with that, but that's just not the life that I
Yeah.
live. I like going to like barbecue festivals, or yesterday they had the Great West Side Fish Fry.
Yep.
And even there, I'm out talking to people, and they're just like, "Yo, you planned out my whole weekend." Like just with the list and the things that you post, and or you planned out date night for me, so that feels good just being like that.
You making relationships happy.
Yeah,
Yeah, come
yeah,
on now,
yeah,
Corey.
yeah. I love just being a community connector and just connecting people and helping people's experience of Charlotte be great, because a lot of people are moving here. I forget the statistic, but 40 people a day or something like that.
Something like that.
And there has been so many people that said, I moved to Charlotte recently or in the past year or past 2 years, and your page and your site completely changed my outlook on Charlotte. So that's something that I am very, very, proud of and happy to hear. And just, I realized that I really just enjoy being a
Yeah.
community connector.
So
So,
that you've learned that about yourself, and that is
hmm
your impact. Like
yeah,
that is your impact
yeah.
on Charlotte. And man, I love that. So all right, go ahead, give us your socials so people know where to find you.
Yes. So I am the Daily Special on all platforms. That's THA and then Daily Special, and that is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. I'm on Snapchat probably. I don't ever post on there, but Threads. People.
Yeah,
The
his
funny,
threads is
yeah,
popping.
that I get more comments on my Threads than anything now.
Corey's threads is popping. He's engaging. He's in the.
Yeah,
My problem with threads is I don't like going back and forth with people.
yeah, yeah,
And because then it's like, all right, some people start engaging. I'm like,
yeah.
you ain't.
No,
And I feel like you have a little more patience in the way you engage with people back and forth. So I'll go through. You remember like subtweeting like way back in the day.
right.
I'm gonna not like your comment because I feel like your original post is crazy, but I'm gonna like Corey's who responded
Yeah,
to you
yeah,
and kind
yeah.
of checks you. I'm liking his, so that way
Yeah.
you know, like I'm with Corey. I
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, yeah. My the Threads is very, very interesting. And I will say one or two things to just make my point, and then
You
I'm
gotta get
done
out of
with
there.
it.
You
Yeah,
gotta get out of there.
yeah, yeah. You can't. more than 1 to 2 back and forths, just get out of there.
I got responsibility.
Yeah,
I can't be on here all day.
And then let the people that's reading it decide.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you heard him, the Daily Special, THA. We can plug that right here. Please make sure you follow.
Yes.
Again, if you have listened to this conversation, you will hear Cory does this with integrity. He does this for the right reasons. He does this because he cares and he wants our city to be better. And so our food doesn't suck in the city. If you think our food sucks, you suck. Argue with your mama, not me. And go check out different places. Like, truly, go check out, get outside of your neighborhood, scroll through his page. There's so many others that, like, really are showcasing places that have been in Charlotte for years. Not just the newest spot that's opening up, but have been here for years and putting great food out for the people of Charlotte. So, Cory, thank you so much for your time. Glad we can finally make this
absolutely.
happen.
Kudos to you. Can I say one more thing? One more thing that I want to leave people with in regards to content creation is authenticity and honesty are two different things. So a lot of people are now getting scammed because it's popular to be negative online. It's popular to go bash a restaurant. You're going to get high engagement every single time. And people are building brands off of this. So all that to say, don't fall for the scam. If you see somebody posting negatively, they could be lying just as much as somebody that's posting a positive place that they were paid to do.
Yep.
So yeah, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't just assume because somebody is saying something negative that they're being honest about it. Because I think a lot of times, even when I say, oh, okay, I didn't, care for this dish, but get this, people will be like, yeah, I appreciate the honesty. I'm like, well, when I say something is good, it's also me being honest.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I just like to remind people of that don't fall for the negativity scam that has been going around a lot online.
Non-stop.
But yes, kudos to you. I appreciate you for bringing me on, and it was fun.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. You definitely made it very, very warm, inviting, and
Thank you.
very chill. So
all right, I do got one request for you.
Okay.
For my own records, can I get a yo, please, for the Queen City Unleashed podcast?
Oh, yeah. I got you. So, yo, welcome to the Queen City Unleashed podcast, the best podcast in Charlotte. Y'all better tap in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We will see you guys on our next episode. Thanks.